A beautiful morning to you out there. Our esteemed listeners, you are very much welcome to Carnival Radio Breakfast Show. And this is Newspaper Review on Carnival Radio, your enjoyment unlimited station. My name is Ibrahim Adebayo. We begin the newspaper review with the headlines in the newspaper. Ondo election, IGP deploys DIG Alabi, AIG Igwe. Others, movement restrictions during polls. Federal government of Nigeria targets $10 billion for stable power. Fire God's factory in Ikeja, Lagos State. $30 billion investment attracted in 17 months. Patients, relatives groan as power disconnections cripples UCH. Now the news in detail. Ondo election, IGP deploys DIG Alabi, AIG Igwen, others movement restrictions during poll. The Inspector General of Police in Nigeria, Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, has announced the deployment of DIG Sylvester Abiodun Alabi as the coordinating officer for the Ondo governorship election, tasked with overseeing police security strategies to maintain law and order throughout electoral period. DIG Alabi will be supported by AIG Bennett Igwe and CP Tunji Disu, assigned as AIG and CP election respectively. According to a statement from the force headquarters, these deployments are part of the comprehensive security measures aimed at ensuring a peaceful, transparent and credible electoral process. During the Ondo off-season gubernatorial election scheduled for Saturday, November 16, 2024, the statement further highlighted several key security protocols, restriction of movement or vehicular movement on roads, waterways, and other forms of transportation will be restricted from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on election day, with exceptions for essential services including ambulances, media officers, and fire service. Ban on security escorts, security aid and escort assigned to VIP are prohibited from accompanying them to poll, booths, or collation centers to prevent disruption. Enforcement of authorized personnel only, unauthorized security personnel, quasi-security agencies, and vehicles with sirens are banned from operating during the election. Special accessibility provision. Polling stations will be accessible and to individuals with disability, pregnant women, nursing mother, and other facing mobility challenges. Additionally, dedicated helplines for election-related inquiries and incidents reporting will be publicized ahead of the election. The Nigerian Police Force urges citizens to report suspicious activities that could compromise the election integrity and reiterate its commitment to a safe and democratic electoral environment. The police will also collaborate with the military and other federal security agencies, emphasizing that stakeholders' cooperation is vital for a fair and peaceful election. For more details on the news, you can visit the Vanguard newspaper. Ondo election, IGP deploy DIG Alabi, AIG Igwe, others movement restrictions during polls. Federal government of Nigeria targets $10 billion for stable power. The federal government is banking on public-private partnership (PPP) arrangement to bridge the investment gap in the power sector. Power Minister Adelabu Adebayo, who said the government will need 10 billion US dollar to provide uninterrupted power supply, described the challenges in the power sector as enormous. Attacks by funders of transmission facilities and other infrastructure remain one of the major challenges facing the sector. The Transmission Company of Nigeria yesterday said some armed men attacked the construction sites of its ongoing transmission substation in Obajana, Kogi State. Last month, 17 states in the north were plunged into darkness for some days after bandit attack on the Siroro Kaduna transmission lines in Niger State. Speaking during the meeting with the Director General of the Infrastructure Concessions and Regulatory Commission (ICRC), Dr. Jobson Ose Odion Ewalefo, Adebayo said the government plans to engage the private sector in raising a portion of 10 billion US dollar within the next 5 to 10 years to ensure steady power supply. The meeting centers on financial and technical need of the power sector through the PPP initiative being championed by ICRC. Adelabu also welcomed the ICRC initiative, acknowledging that the government could not surely raise the 10 billion US dollar needed for the 24 hours power supply, especially with other sectors also requiring significant investments, noting the importance of maintaining government ownership while owing private sector fund. The minister further identified the concession as an ideal approach to achieve this balance. For more details on the news, you can visit The Nation newspaper. Federal government of Nigeria target 10 billion US dollar for stable power supply. $30 billion US dollar investment attracted in 17 months. President Bola Tinubu yesterday reappraised his administration reform programs, saying they have resulted in country attracting 30 billion US dollar investment in almost 17 months. Tinubu also said that peace had returned to parts of the nation previously known for insurgency, violence, crime, and crude oil theft. Tinubu spoke through the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, at the news conference by the Controller General, CGC, in Abuja. He was a guest speaker at the conference, which had the team Nigerian Customs Service engaging traditional and new partners with purpose. He said that the security situation in Niger Delta had improved to the extent that crude oil production hit 1.8 million barrels per day. As of Monday, he said people in many parts of our country today are living in peace. Go to Niger Delta, things have changed. Today, we have gotten up to 1.8 million barrels of crude oil. We have not seen this for a long time. The Southeast is getting to be at peace with itself and the rest of the country. Tinubu explained that on assumption of office on May 29 last year, he set out with a clear and unwavering visions to strengthen the security economic base and deliver positive growth and development for the benefit of all. Tinubu added that in pursuance of this vision, we have built upon a system foundation while introducing necessary reforms to adapt to our evolving economic realities. Tinubu stated that due to the determination and unity of his cabinet, corrupt practices are being drastically reduced to the barriers minimum. For more details, you can visit The Nation newspaper. 30 billion US dollar investments attracted in 17 months. Fire God's factory in Ikeja, Lagos State. A mysterious fire broke out yesterday night, devastating an unidentified factory in Ikeja, Lagos State, and destroying items worth billions of naira. The fire reportedly began around 10 p.m., causing workers and nearby residents to flee for safety. Margaret Adeseye, director of the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, provided details on incident, responding to a distress call at 8:41 p.m. The Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service arrived to find as well alert fire at Ibrio International, located at 6 Ayodele Dion Street off Ladipo Luwole Street in Ikeja. Adesanya explained that the fire originated from a warehouse, blocks used to store products such as body spray and creams. As of press time, the cause of the fire had yet to be determined, and firefighting operations were still underway. Fortunately, no casualty have been reported. For more details on the news, you can visit the Vanguard newspaper. Fire God's factory in Ikeja, Lagos State. Patients, relatives groan as power disconnection cripples UCH. Patients accessing healthcare services at University College Hospital UCH in Ibadan and their families are facing a hell of time following the disconnection of electricity supply. Recall that Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company IBEDC cut off power supply to the hospital. This is the second time the DISCO will disconnect the hospital this year. Earlier on 19 March 2024, the DISCO cut off power supply to the hospital over 495 million naira debt. The power supply was later restored when prominent indigents of Ibadan and other stakeholders intervened. However, the electricity distribution company has disconnected the hospital power for the second time this year. It took the action on 26 November 2024 due to another accumulated debt by the hospital. Source close to the hospital said the major activities such as surgery, water supply, tests, and other things that require electricity have been put on hold. A staff of the hospital who spoke on the condition of anonymity said the activities at the laboratory and other areas have been suspended as a result of the disconnection. UCH reneged on its promises to settle accumulated debt, says IBEDC. Meanwhile, IBEDC accused the hospital of reneging on its promise to offset the accumulated debt. IBEDC spokesperson Busola Tuwashe told newsmen yesterday that the electricity distribution company disconnected the hospital from the national grid due to the accumulated debt. Tuwashe, who did not reveal the total amount, said that the hospital signed an agreement with the electricity distribution company before the power was restored. She, however, said that the hospital reneged on its promise. For more details on the news, you can visit the Daily Post newspaper. Patients, relatives groan as power disconnection cripples UCH. Before we bring the newspaper review to a close, these are the headlines again. Ondo election, IGP deploys DIG Alabi, AIG Igwen, orders movement restrictions during polls. Federal government of Nigeria targets $10 billion for stable power supply. Fire God's factory in Ikeja, Lagos State. $30 billion investment attracted in 17 months. Patients, relatives grown as power disconnection cripples UCH. And with that, we've come to the end of newspaper review on Carnival Radio. Thank you so much for listening. I am Ibrahim Adebayo. You can listen to us live via www.carnivalmedia.com You can as well download the Carnival Media app from the Google Play Store and iOS App Store. Do enjoy the rest of your morning. Bye.